morning meditation together. It's a great honor to be here. I'm always happy to join you. I'm always happy to see your faces. And it's a joy for us to take the time to sit together. Carmen, you got back into your house? Okay, is everybody getting settled here? Let's take a few moments to take the extra swallow of water or tea. Give yourself one more stretch or an extra yawn, whatever happens at 7 o'clock in the morning. Blinking your eyes and opening your ears and beginning to become alert. And I'll say hello right now to people on Facebook as we go through the meditation. I'll record it and then I'll turn it off when we do our personal sharing. So let's start with the classic bell. Letting ourselves settle in place. I see that a couple more people have added the trees that they're connecting with these days. The oak dropping so many acorns. That's making the squirrels happy. And Port Orford cedar that survived the neighbors that succumbed to a disease. Yep. May we settle ourselves strong and rooted as a tree in our noble seat. Letting the sound of the bell call us to the Dharma. Just beginning to settle in place. And the way that we steward these trees around us, we also have self-stewardship, embodying this commitment to know ourselves. We get on this path to mindfulness and we have this ability to get to know ourselves, to responsibly and mindfully manage our personal resources, and to recognize and compassionately respect our limitations, and to choose actions that are wholesome and life-affirming. And by taking this opportunity to be quiet together and sit and watch the mind, hold the heart, we are nurturing skillful activities, wholesome states of mind. And in this time, having this container of the breath in our bodies, we can hold ourselves gently and kindly and pay homage to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, to those enlightened beings who have gone before us, and to the truths that have been discovered one breath at a time, and the Sangha, those generations and generations and eons of time through all the Buddhas that has been passed down. Some simple yet not easy instructions of seeing things clearly as they are. The Four Noble Truths of noticing, being aware that difficulty and stress and challenges exist in our human realm. And if we look closely, we can see moment to moment that clinging to wanting something to be other than the way it is, or pushing away something that's difficult, that as we cling to things or push them away, that stress gets magnified. And that the path, there is a path, and that the path involves some simple steps. And so we start on those steps. We may want to have an intention as we sit. Sometimes a daily intention is a conscious decision where we focus our energy. An intention can help us focus on a specific area that we might want to notice, look at. We might have an intention of gratitude, kindness, of waking up, of being present. We can also take some time to let some relaxation flow through our body and just notice, is there tension in the body in various places? Sometimes just as soon as we notice it, it can just relax a little. It's helpful to be relaxed in the meditation time. It's helpful to be relaxed most of the time, but it's not always possible. But as we slow down and drop into the acceptance of what's present, it can pave the way for patience and resilience. And so if we take a moment to just relax or notice the invitation to our bodies and minds and hearts, relaxing behind the eyes and in the jaw, the face where we carry so much expression, the shoulders, noticing tension and letting some natural relaxation flow through the spine, the hips, grounding ourselves in our seated position, gravity present. And we allow mindfulness to be at the fore, to be aware of what's arising and passing away. We could put our attention at the breath, at the nostrils or the belly. We can put our attention in the whole body, breath in the body, and notice what comes to each of the senses. Everything that we perceive, all of our conditioned reality comes to us from sight coming to the eyes, sound arriving at the ears, and so on through the senses, thoughts at the thought door. And we can be present with mindfulness and awareness to see the true nature of what is arising at that place. That it arises, stays for a while. We may hang on to it if it's pleasant or push it away if it's unpleasant. Maybe there's neutrality around what's arising. It's impermanent, and we see it flow away. We may see it end, or we may be jumping on to the next place that mindfulness is present and awareness is there. Relaxing and being aware. Practicing the continuity of mindfulness from moment to moment. We may notice if there's sleepiness that arises. We can just gently open our eyes and let some light in. Keep our meditation with slightly closed eyes. Or there may be restlessness in the mind or restlessness in the body. We can bring our attention back to the single object of the breath at the nostrils or belly, or the touch point of the buttocks on the seat, or touch point of where our hands are, to bring us into the present moment. We may notice the flow of some of the other hindrances when they arise and pass away, clinging and pushing away, or There may be doubt. This is just all part of the nature of being born human and having various hindrances come and go. Sometimes we even have a multiple hindrance attack. But if we can see this clearly with mindfulness, without attaching to what's arising and passing, awareness can be present. And it can bring us joy, gladdening of the mind. We're being present, waking up in this very moment, seeing clearly what's arising. We have mindfulness present, and awareness helps us investigate. Sometimes we can notice whether something is pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And we have just enough energy to not be working hard, but be attentive, relaxed and attentive. It can bring rapture and joy to the mind, and tranquility can arise. We can deepen our concentration and be aware of equanimity around whatever is arising, contributing to our ability to awaken in this very moment. If the mind wanders or we're lost in thought, or we might be spacing in or spacing out, we just gently awaken right there in that moment. What is happening in the mind right now? What is happening in the body? What's the attitude of the mind? We gently notice in that very moment, oh, awakening is happening. Something is happening. It could be pleasant or unpleasant. Maybe we don't know what it is. It can be unclear. But we're awake and aware and present and beginning again. Relaxed, holding ourselves in kindness and compassion. Being present with what is clearly being seen. eliciting just enough energy and patience to be interested in the present moment. Patient with ourselves as the mind wanders or one of the hindrances takes hold and carries us away for a while. We can continue to notice and incline the mind toward those skillful states, having integrity, letting go of cravings and impulses and reactive habits of the mind. Some of the Paramis we may notice: generosity, or letting go as it arises, a kind of renunciation as things fall away that we might otherwise cling to. Wisdom is present, seeing through delusion and ignorance. And we have a resolve to be present with loving kindness, letting go of fear and various preferences and seeing equanimity. And as we continue to notice this constant flow of changing objects, we can draw our attention to loving kindness and slowly build momentum, allowing it to take hold within our hearts. We can make a conscious choice to recognize the benefits of metta, of loving kindness, the physical and mental sense of ease that we can experience when we encourage ourselves to direct our attention to that which is conducive to the opening of consciousness of thoughts and feelings of loving kindness. So for a while we incline the mind toward building well-being in our hearts and supporting the wish of well-being, a strength of intention. And we can begin to sustain a kind of flow. We turn away from aversion and ill will. Not that it doesn't mean that everything's wonderful and beautiful and that we're ignoring the difficulty, but for a time period, with conscious cultivation, we can generate energy of goodwill and kindness. Particularly in constantly difficult times, it's important to settle for a while in our hearts and develop this intention of kindness to ourselves and to others. And so may we take a few moments to hold ourselves in our hearts, wishing that I may be free from harm, safe and protected, and have ease and well-being in my life. May I nourish my heart with positive things and brighten the mind and the heart. Bring a sense of well-being to myself. Wherever we touch upon a feeling of kindness, a kind of openness in our hearts, maybe there's a place that we like to visit or a feeling that we have under certain circumstances when we see someone we love or hear a piece of music that moves us. May we use that kind of energy to generate this openness of heart, letting this kindness include a close friend, someone that it's easy to feel goodwill toward. having an experience of seeing or feeling or sensing that friend, including them in our container of our body grounded here, including this friend. May they be free from harm, safe and protected, or whatever phrase or feeling works for you. Cultivating this kindness in our hearts toward a friend. And also allowing compassion to arise, knowing that sometimes things are difficult, holding this person in our heart, that they may hold themselves in compassion when difficulties arise, just as we hold them in compassion. And as we let this conscious cultivation of loving kindness in a skillful way, directing our attention to a teacher, maybe it's our first Dharma teacher, or any other teacher in our lives. It could be an animal or a child, a friend. Holding the image or feeling of this teacher, this benefactor, someone from whom we've derived great benefit. Holding them with kindness. Wishing them to have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from aversion and ill will. May they be free from suffering. And setting to the side the teacher or benefactor, let us also include a neutral person or a group of people. There may be someone you saw recently that you don't really know, but just as I wish to be happy, I know that you also wish to be happy. It could be a single person, it may be a group. Some who have been oppressed, some who have been moved from their homes for various reasons, forced away from home, or natural disasters forcing them away from home. Or perhaps it's a group of people, those who may be afflicted with illness, or those in the helping professions of those who are ill. Whatever way you want to hold in your hearts a neutral person or people, letting the mind and heart incline in kindness, in compassion, having enough energy to stay present, holding them in our hearts. And may you be free from ill will, free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you have compassion for yourself when things are difficult. As we develop this kindness and goodwill for ourselves and for others, may we have the benefit of the solvent to dissolve and wash away thoughts and moods of aversion and ill will. May these thoughts of kindness flow in all directions to difficult situations and perhaps a difficult person in our life. Letting kindness be developed in our hearts. To those known and unknown, to our family members, to our neighbors, to those realized and unrealized, those in sadness and those in happiness. May all beings be free from harm. Safe and protected. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we know our true nature. Anicca vata sankhara upadavaya domino upakitawa meruchanti te samvapasamo sukho. All conditioned things arise and pass away. Seeing this clearly with mindfulness brings the greatest happiness, which is peace. And as you gently begin to open your eyes and reach for your glass of water and put on your glasses, may these words flow over you. Since we were talking about trees, I'm going to read Mary Oliver's poem on trees. When I am among the trees. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines. They give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches. And they call again. "It's simple," they say. And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. And may we remember that the goodness of our practice, the merits of our practice, benefit ourselves and all sentient beings. And I thank you so much for your practice, for your daily practice, and for your showing up here at this sitting and at all the other sittings that you do, and in your awareness of moment to moment mindfulness throughout your day. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free.